Cheesy Mushroom Griddled Tortellini. Nighttime cook. Hello everybody, Garrett the Griddler here. And you may be like, is that crickets? Is that just because it's this show I'm watching? Or is Garrett the Griddler doing something crazy and griddling at nighttime right in the dark? Well, you decide on that one. But we are going to do a nighttime cook because I fooled around too long and did not prepare well enough. So I have got me a pre-mixed spaghetti sauce. And we're actually going to be putting it on some tortellini. It's a pretty easy meal. It's a vegetarian meal. So I'm going to go ahead. I got my sauce mixed. And I'm just going to sit it here in the back corner and let it start coming up to temperature. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little oil down. I'm working on a little bit unlevel here, but we'll make it work. So I'm going to put down some onions. I'm going to brown them up real nice. They're going to go in my sauce. So we got our onions down, just going to keep working them. Like I said, I just want them to get a little cooked and tendered down. Normally I'd let them simmer in the sauce, but I'm trying to expedite that process. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little salt on these before I turn them. A couple grinds. And some fresh cracked pepper too. These are really starting to get where I want them at. We don't want to rush good food. And these onions are where I want them. I'm going to put them in the sauce. Just kind of mix them in. Don't have to be perfect. This next part goes out to the bearded full gaming who kind of want to know about cleaning spatulas while I cook. In a case like this, I usually, since I've got a little sauce on it, then just work that down. If you get it before it bakes on and cakes on, it's a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and put me some oil down, spread it out. I'm going to start me some mushrooms. I don't want these super done, but you'll notice I've they're not super thick cut, but they are kind of rough chopped. I wanted them like that. Since there's no meat in this, these mushrooms are my meat. Like I said, this right here is a vegetarian style, just veggies and cheese, no meat in this. If you wanted to add meat, you could. Have at it, whatever pleases the palate. Go ahead and put a little butter. Just work it around. These right here is just some cherry tomatoes. Where I'm from, we call them Tommy Toes, but I just kind of quartered them, and I'm gonna put them on top of my mushrooms and work them in. I don't want to overdo them, but I do want to cook them a little. That's gonna get that tomato and the mushroom meeting each other. Let them cook down just a little. You can chop them finer than this. I just went this route. Won't take too long. You want to turn them pretty regular. You don't want to blister your tomatoes and burn them. Just bring that flavor out. If you got something try to escape, wrangle it back in. Oh, but we're not done yet. This right here is this I like this tomato, sun-dried tomato basil pesto or something like that. I'm gonna put a generous tablespoon on it. If you didn't want to use any pesto, that would work as well. Just gonna let it heat up. So my thing with this, as I said, if I want to go, you know, I had a request or two for doing something a little different, like a vegetarian, vegan style cook. I figured I'd start off with vegetarian and see how that goes. But like I said, mushrooms are a great substitute for meat, so I said I'll try them. And then I wanted to put a little tomato in here and just get some texture going on. Check the sauce, it's coming along nice. Letting this cook down a little. If you see them, they're a little bit bigger once you want them, you can just cut it. These are pretty big ones, but could have cut them a little bit earlier, but right now they're cooking down nice how I want them to do. And these right here is about how I'm wanting it. I'm not going to mix these in my sauce right now. I'm going to use these kind of as a topping. I'm going to pull them down to the bottom to get them off the heat for now. Kind of clean the grill off just a little bit. Now this right here, I'm ready for my tortellini. I'll put a little oil down. And a generous thing of butter. I'm just going to let that melt down. Like I said, this right here, just got it from Walmart. It's great value. Cheese tortellini. It's filled with ricotta, mozzarella, and Romano. You can see with this meal we're cooking, put a little water on them after get it all going. You can feed a pretty good amount of people with this. Just kind of toss it around. I'm going to get a decent little amount of water going. I'm going to cap them, just let them steam just a little bit. While I'm doing that, I'll make sure my tomatoes, my mushrooms aren't burning. Just turn them down here at the bottom. They're already pretty well off the heat, but they still are a little on the heat. Check on them. Lost a couple down my grease trap. I'll get them later. No big deal. Like I said, I'm a little bit unlevel here to get some light. I'm not going to be stingy with the butter. Working in. I can smell that cheese waking up inside the tortellini. Smelling good. I'm going to add around a tablespoon of the sun-dried tomato pesto. Just work it in. Just And that right there is about where I want it. So it's nice and hot. Just scoop me some on a plate. Put these up, just give them one last little heat. Help melt my cheese. Just kind of sprinkle it on. Well, take my sauce, be careful, don't burn yourself. It's gonna get a little messy, part of the fun. Now, it's gonna take some shredded cheese. Let that melt down. Then optional, I got a good deal on some fresh basil. So I chopped a little up and put it on there as a garnish. And there you have it. We got a cheese tortellini with a homemade sauce and sauteed cherry tomatoes and mushroom. Topped it off with that, a little cheese and basil as a garnish, and a little bit of our leftover mushroom and tomato there in the center. I think it looks alright. We'll let this cheese melt down a little bit. Try it out, see how it tastes. Alright, so we made it back to our taste test table. First thing I'm going to do is try to get one of the tortellinis that doesn't have much on it, see how that turned out. It's got that little bit of crisp from the heat, but the inside's nice and creamy. If you ask me how to describe it, it's kind of like a mozzarella stick, a pierogi, and a dumpling got together and said, let's see what we can make. And you get this. I really enjoy that. I think that's one way to elevate the $3 bags of frozen like tortellini or something, is to do something like this. Gives it a little bit more of a premium feel for a budget. So now you can see you got some melty mozzarella there. Try to get all of it. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but it's steaming hot. Try not to give myself a 3rd-degree tongue burn. If you ask me what I cooked that was pleasantly surprising, this right here would be at the top of it. It's the first time I've ever done it. Maybe, I don't know, and I think I've made my own spaghetti sauce in the past, but I'll put the link in the description. I use it as a base, like I said, I often do, and I added a decent amount more. I put some more garlic salt, pepper, basil, Italian seasoning, just to kick it up a little bit more to get the flavor level to where I wanted it. But I think it's a great base, and then you can work from that base and get it to where it's the flavor you're looking for. Or like I said, if you didn't want to do that, jarred sauce would work good here too, if you're just looking for something quick and convenient. But these mushrooms, the tomatoes, the sauce, you can get a little bit of the hint of that pesto, cheese. I think it's all came together nicely. Just hot. This right here is definitely something I'll be adding to my little mental recipe book. I'm going to put it in the backlog. I'm going to do it again one day. It's cheap. Obviously, I made myself a huge portion. Reasonable portions. You could easily feed a family of 4 for this, for probably just a few dollars a serving or something like this. So I think it's a a very nice meal for what it cost you. Appreciate you taking time to check out the cook tonight. Like I said, griddling in the dark. Why not? Figure I'll try something a little different. Hopefully it showed up all right on camera. You can make it out. If you saw something that intrigued you or you enjoyed, I hope you'd please consider take the time to like, comment, subscribe, share, and turn on post notifications so you know when new content's added to the channel. As always, this is Garrett the Griddler here saying thank you for checking this out. Until next time, let's keep cooking. National Tortellini Day, February 13th. Mark your calendars.